About to hear is a tragedy, a tale of murder, ghostly spirits, revenge, and insanity. It is about a young man who must look deep within himself and struggle with what he discovers. Listen well, and we will tell you all.
The story takes place in the 13th century, a strange time in Denmark. Just 2 months ago, the king had died. A serpent stung him as he slept, or so as everyone believes. The king's death left Hamlet without a father and the queen without a husband. But just before the funeral was over, Claudius, the dead king's brother, married Queen Gertrude. There is much gossip about these events, and Hamlet is very upset.
Right now, in a room in a royal castle, Hamlet is speaking to his friend Horatio. In mourning for his father, Hamlet is dressed in all black. Horatio has just arrived at the castle.
What brings you here, Horatio?
Mere laziness, my lord. I've had enough of college.
Speak the truth, my dear friend. I know you're not lazy.
I came for your father's funeral.
Don't mock me, Horatio. You came for my mother's wedding.
They did happen one right after the other.
They saved money that way, Horatio. The leftovers from the funeral reception became food for the wedding feast. It's terrible. I never thought I'd see a day like this go by. Horatio, I miss my father.
He was a good king.
He had all the qualities a man should have. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him last night.
My father? But he's dead.
Well, listen while I tell you what's happened. But first let me call Bernardo and Marcellus, the guards.
Bernardo and Marcellus come in.
2 nights in a row, Bernardo and Marcellus saw a figure walking back and forth as they guarded the palace grounds.
It looked just like your father, from his face to his clothes.
The next night, I went on their watch with them, and I saw the ghost with my own eyes. It was your father.
It's very strange.
But it's the truth.
Will you be on watch tonight?
I will, my lord.
I will go with you. Perhaps the ghost will appear again.
It is midnight. Hamlet is on the castle's guard platform with Marcellus, Bernardo, and Horatio. They are waiting for the ghost of Hamlet's father.
The air bites sharply. It's very cold. What time is it now?
Just before midnight, I think.
No! 12 has struck.
Suddenly, the ghost appears.
God defend us. Whether you're a spirit from heaven or a goblin from hell, I will speak to you. Oh, answer me. Tell me why you've come from the grave.
The ghost motions to Hamlet to follow him.
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it wants to speak to you alone.
Don't go.
It won't speak here. I have to follow.
Hamlet follows the ghost a short distance from his friends.
Speak, ghost. I won't follow you any further.
Listen to me. My time is almost up. Soon I must return to the fires of purgatory.
Alas, poor ghost.
Do not pity me. And after you hear what I have to tell you, you must take revenge.
What?
I am your father's spirit. If you ever have loved your dear father, you must take revenge on his foul and unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul. Here's the truth, noble youth. The serpent that did steal your father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, I knew it was so. My uncle killed my father?
Yes, he poured poison in my ear as I slept and then stole my wife, the queen.
By all that is sacred to me, I will take revenge, I swear.
Whatever you do, do not harm your mother. Leave her to be dealt with by heaven and her own conscience. But now the morning is almost upon us, and soon I must go. Goodbye, goodbye, remember me.
Hamlet walks back into the direction of his friends. Horatio, Bernardo, and Marcellus rush to his side, begging him to tell them what has happened. But Hamlet refuses and insists that they must swear never to reveal that they had seen the ghost.
Swear upon my sword.
Swear.
The men all swear secrecy.
I cannot tell you what the spirit said, but I will tell you that I plan to behave strangely for a while. Although I may seem crazy, I am not. Remember that. This is the only way I can hide my feelings and figure out what I'm going to do.
Horatio and the guards leave.
Why has fate thrown me, a mere youth, into this situation? Must I be the one to solve all the world's problems? Time is out of joint, and I am afraid. But I will do what I must. Though I am no killer, I will keep my vow to my father. But was it truly my father who spoke to me? Perhaps it was the devil in disguise. Maybe I really am crazy. Could I have imagined the whole thing?
Early the next morning, Laertes is getting ready to go to France. He is having a last word with his sister Ophelia. Hamlet has shown interest in Ophelia by visiting her and giving her gifts.
Farewell, my sister. Please let me hear from you.
Do you doubt I will?
And as for Hamlet, do not take him too seriously. Perhaps he loves you now, but you must realize, given his position as crown prince, his life is not his own. You must be careful with him.
I will keep your advice in mind.
Polonius, Laertes, and Ophelia's father enters. He is known for his long speeches and constant scheming.
Still here, Laertes? Get going. The ship is about to sail. I have but one word of advice to you. Listen to every man, but tell other men little. Neither borrower nor lender be. To thine own self be true.
I understand, Father. I must go now. Ophelia, remember what I told you.
Laertes leaves.
What did Laertes say to you?
He spoke of Lord Hamlet.
You must be careful with Hamlet. What is going on between you? Give me the truth.
He has offered his love to me.
Love? You don't believe him, do you?
I don't know what to believe.
He is not sincere. He cannot be. He is too powerful to be serious about a girl not of royal blood. From now on, don't speak to him. This is an order.
I shall obey, my lord.
It is 2 months later. Ophelia has taken her father's advice and has ignored Hamlet's advances.
How now, Ophelia? What is the matter?
It is Lord Hamlet. I am frightened.
What has he done to you?
I was sewing in my room, and he came in looking as pale as his white shirt and as if he hadn't bathed in a month. Then he took me by the wrist, stared at me for a long time, and shuffled out of the room. I have never seen him in such a state.
He is mad for your love. Have you spoken to him harshly lately?
No, my lord. I just took your advice and refused to see him.
Polonius stops to think. The king and queen are concerned because Hamlet has been acting so strangely, almost insane. This could be the reason.
Perhaps I have erred. He may be sincere in his love after all. Come, we must tell the king about this.
Polonius goes to the palace to tell the king about Hamlet's strange behavior towards Ophelia, and to give his theory on Hamlet's insanity.
Dear Gertrude, Polonius tells me he has found the source of your son's odd behavior.
I suspect it is nothing but the obvious. His father's death and our hasty marriage.
Polonius, what is your theory?
Dear sir and madams, brevity is the soul of wit. I shall be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, I call it. But to define true madness, what is it but mad? Let that go.
More matter with less art. Get on with it, Polonius.
Hamlet has fallen in love with Ophelia. I have the letter to prove it.
How has she received his love?
Well, at first she loved him back. And I, as any good father would, told her to stop. I told her, Hamlet is a prince, far above your rank. This must not be. She obeyed, and since she spurned him off, he is now insane, as he is today.
Could this be it?
It very well may be.
How can we test this further?
You do know that Hamlet paces these hallways for hours at a time.
He does, indeed.
During one of these times, I shall send Ophelia out for him. You and I will hide behind the tapestry and spy on them. Then if you decide he hasn't gone crazy for her love, dismiss me as your advisor.
The next day, Polonius and the king are hiding behind a wall hanging, ready to spy on Hamlet and Ophelia.
Hamlet is pacing the hallway alone. He is in anguish, wondering if his father's ghost was real or just a dream, wondering if he'll ever get the nerve to kill the king, and fearing that suicide is the only way to escape his problems.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune and by opposing end them. To die. To sleep. To sleep. Perhaps to dream. But that's the rub. In the sleep of death, what dreams may come. Thinking like this turns every man into a coward. Every decision seems wrong when I brood about it. And in the end, I'm paralyzed, unable to do anything at all.
Just then, Ophelia enters.
Fair Ophelia!
My good lord, how have you been?
Good of you to ask. Fine, fine.
Ophelia tries to hand Hamlet some jewelry, but he refuses to take it.
My lord, I've come to return the gifts you've given me. Please take them.
No, I never gave you anything.
But you did, my lord, and as you did, you said such sweet things that presents became even more beautiful.
You know, Ophelia, I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe you did.
Goodness can't overcome our sinful nature. I loved you not.
I was deceived then.
Get thee to a nunnery. And where's your father, by the way?
Hamlet storms out of the room. He suspects the meeting was a setup. He feels that he needs to keep up his false insanity.
To help him, his great mind has been destroyed. This youth that everyone adored is lost to us forever.
Polonius and the king come out.
Well, it is obvious that Hamlet's madness comes from something other than his love. It is dangerous to have him around.
The king had a violent reaction to the murder scene. This convinced Hamlet once and for all that what the ghost said was correct. The king killed him. Hamlet now knows he must take revenge soon or betray his promise to his father.
The king is alone in a room in the palace, reeling from the shock of seeing his crime recreated on stage.
Horrible. I have murdered my own brother, and I can't ask God for forgiveness for this sin, because I still have what I gained from it. My crown, my wife, and my own ambition. Will God forgive me if I keep all of these things? I must give it a try.
The king kneels to pray. Hamlet enters and sees him on his knees.
Could kill him now. But if I murder him while he's praying, he'll go straight to heaven. What kind of revenge is that? No. I must wait until I catch him in a sin. Or am I just putting things off? I don't want to become a killer.
Hamlet's mother has called Hamlet to her room to try once more to figure out the meaning of his madness. Polonius has again arranged to hide behind a wall, needing to spy on their conversation.
What do you want, Mother?
Hamlet, you've offended your father.
No, you've offended my father.
Come, you're being ridiculous.
Go, you're being evil.
Have you forgotten who you're talking to?
Of course not. You're the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and I wish her more so, my mother.
I've had enough of this. I'm leaving.
No, Mother, wait, listen to me.
Hamlet grabs his mother's arm. She is frightened by his roughness.
Help! You're going to murder me!
Help!
Hamlet draws out his sword and stabs the curtain and Polonius. He thought that voice was of the king, but to his dismay it was Polonius, who slips forward and dies.
When the king learns about Polonius' death, he is angry and frightened of what Hamlet might do to him. He tries to send Hamlet away, but it doesn't work, so the king grows more and more upset.
Meanwhile, Laertes is back in Denmark. He has returned from France when he heard about the death of his father, Polonius. He believes the rumors that the king killed his father. Laertes storms into the king's chambers carrying his sword.
What has happened to my father?
Dead. Do not believe the rumors. I did not kill him.
Then how did he die? I will not be trifled with, and I will take revenge for his death.
I won't stop you.
Ophelia enters. Her clothes are in tatters. She is singing and carrying wildflowers. It is obvious that she is out of her mind with grief over her father's death.
Lord, come again. Lord, come again. No, you're dead. He will never come again.
Oh God, do you see this? What has happened to my sister?
Come, Laertes. I will explain the situation to you.
The king leads Laertes out of the room. Laertes and the king talk alone.
It was Hamlet who killed your father. He meant to kill me.
Why haven't you done anything about it?
For 2 reasons. His mother is so fond of him, and he is so popular with the people. There would be riots if I took any action against him.
And for these reasons my father is dead and sister driven insane?
Listen to me closely, Laertes. If you do what I tell you, you will have your revenge. I understand that you are an expert at fencing. Is this true?
Yes.
I will arrange a match between you and Lord Hamlet. But it will not be just for sport. See that your sword is sharpened. When you get in the opening, stab him in the heart. Everyone will think it's just an accident.
To be on the safe side, I will load the tip with poison. We must leave nothing to chance.
Yes. And we must have a backup in case his plot fails. Oh, I have it! When Hamlet asks for a drink, I will give him a cup of poisoned wine. If he escapes your sword, the drink will do him in.
Another sorrow has befallen us. Your sister is drowned, Laertes.
Drowned where?
She threw herself in the brook. She was so distraught over all that has happened.
There are things I want to say, but tears drown my speech.
The next morning, Laertes, the king, and the queen are attending Ophelia's funeral. Because she committed suicide, it is a quiet one. Hamlet does not know of Ophelia's death.
Hamlet and Horatio happen upon the funeral while walking through the graveyard.
Look, it's the king and queen with the coffin. Why is the ceremony so small and quiet? It must be someone who has killed theirself, but he must be of noble rank.
There's Laertes.
Listen, he's talking to the priest.
Can nothing more be done?
No, it is not right to sing a requiem the way we do for those who die in peace. This is all we can do.
My sister will be an angel in heaven when you lie rotting in hell. Lay her on the ground and make fresh violets spring from her flesh.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Hamlet and Horatio go over to Laertes.
May the devil take your soul.
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not have loved her as much as I did. What will you do? Will you leap into her grave? I will leap in after you.
He is insane, Laertes. Be calm. Remember our talk last night.
Horatio, please take him away. Hamlet agrees to the fencing match as a gesture of goodwill towards Laertes. Hamlet wants to convince him that he killed Polonius on accident and never stopped loving Ophelia.
Laertes and Hamlet are off to the side getting ready for the match. The king, the queen, and Horatio are there to watch. Hamlet is off to the side talking to Horatio before the start of the contest.
My fencing skills are as good as Laertes, but I have a strange feeling about this whole thing.
Then wait, my lord.
No, it's an absurd premonition. It doesn't matter.
If your instinct tells you something is wrong, then obey it. I'll tell the king you need more time to prepare.
No, it's ridiculous. It's just the way I feel about everything these days. And I also want to apologize to Laertes for all that has happened.
Hamlet approaches Laertes.
Laertes, I am sorry about your father. It wasn't me who killed him, but my madness. It was as though I shot an arrow over a house and killed my brother.
I accept your offer of friendship, but my honor cannot be restored until we finish this match.
Then let us start the match.
The king hands Laertes and Hamlet their swords and they begin to fence.
That's one hit.
No, it's not.
Can we have a decision?
It was definitely a hit.
Fine, on to the second round.
Wait, Hamlet! First, let's toast to your health.
No, I want to finish this match first.
Hamlet and Laertes continue fencing.
That's another hit.
You're doing so well. Here's to your good luck, Hamlet.
Wait, no, Gertrude, do not drink.
But excuse me, I must.
It's the poison cup. It's too late.
I'll hit him now, even though it's almost against my conscience.
Come on, Laertes, let's do some real fencing.
Laertes goes after Hamlet furiously. In their struggle, they drop their swords and accidentally exchange them. Both are wounded.
Hamlet takes a drink from the poison cup and realizes that the queen has fallen.
Come on, take care of the queen. She has collapsed. And Laertes, what has happened to you?
I've been caught in my own trap. The sword was poisoned and I shall die.
Hamlet, the wine! I've been poisoned!
And I also drank from the cup.
The king's to blame!
Hamlet picks up the poisoned sword and without a second thought stabs the king.
Poison, do your work, you murderous Dane. Follow my mother.
The king deserves to die. He makes the poison himself. Let's forgive each other, noble Hamlet.
Laertes clutches his stomach and dies.
May heaven forgive you, Laertes. I am dying too. Goodbye, wretched queen. Goodbye, Horatio. Tell everyone of the true story of how I lived and died.
Good night, sweet prince. May flights of angels sing you to your rest.
Horatio looks at the pile of dead bodies. Hamlet, the king, the queen, and Laertes all lie dead on the ground.
And so ends the story. Unnatural acts, incorrect judgments, casual murders destroyed the very people who conceived of them, and a whole kingdom at the same time.